Hello everyone, Melissa Boer-Jacobson. Thank you so much for your patience today. This is tip number 3 of my series, minimizing stress and having maximizing phenomenal coping skills, I should say. If you've not already done so, and I want to say hello to the people in the chat, thank you for joining me today. If you have not already subscribed to my channel, now would be a fantastic time to do so, and hit that button. Hit that button to be notified, hit the bell, I should say, to be notified every time I go live, because this is one of many, many really, really valuable videos that I post on here almost on the daily to help you, your staff, your children, your family have phenomenal coping skills. Now, there's a slight delay here, not a delay, but bear with me. I am going to show you where I am. I'm actually in Panama, and there's someone at my door. So let's see who it is. Oh. Hello. I'm sorry I don't have, thank you so much. We have great people helping us here in Panama. You're on YouTube today. Okay. All right. I didn't want to keep her waiting at the door. So today, now you got a little glimpse of the fantastic people that are with us here. We're in Boquete, Panama today. So that's because as a confident life coach and hypnotherapist, I'm blessed to be able to work with my clients from wherever I am, and that's where I happen to be today. So today's topic is brain chemistry. What is its connection with stress, and how can we overcome our own brain chemistry and make it work for us instead of making it work against us? So let me explain that when we are faced with a stressful or challenging or adverse event, we do have a default operating system that kicks in. You've probably heard of it. It's called the fight, flight, or freeze response. And it seems like it is just it's a physical response, but it also triggers a response in our brain. And it triggers our brain to have thoughts about fleeing or fighting or freezing. And it's very, very important that in this very stressful environment, in this stressful world that we're in, that we don't just go to that default and let it run us. We need to take charge of our thoughts so that we can see adverse conditions, we can see stressful situations as challenges to be overcome, rather than as steamrollers that are squashing us down, okay? Life is full of stress. Life is full of adversity. Circumstances, as I like to say, are always going to come at us, and it's up to us. We can't change the circumstances, but we can change our response to our circumstances. And we can overcome stress, and we can have phenomenal coping skills when we learn how to talk to ourselves. And I should have called this live Watch Your Language, because that's what we're going to be learning today. How to language your thoughts so that you have a response to a stressful or adverse or challenging situation, so that your brain responds in an optimal way to be able to handle that stressful, adverse, or challenging situation. So the brain responds, the mind and the brain respond to the words and the pictures that you give it. So I want to try a little exercise with you right now. I have lots of people in the chat here, so I'm going to ask all of you to think of a pink elephant. Right now, think of a pink elephant. Okay. Now, what I should have said was, don't think of a pink elephant. Now, everybody, don't think of a pink elephant. Do not think of a pink elephant. Now, respond to me, please, in the chat and tell me, when I told you not to think of a pink elephant, what happened? More than likely, when I told you not to think of a pink elephant, you were still thinking of a pink elephant. And that's because the mind and the brain responds to the words and pictures that you give it. And when you give your mind a negative instruction, it doesn't hear what it can't picture. It won't respond to what it can't picture. So if you're still thinking of a pink elephant, even though I told you not to, that's because your brain can only think of a pink elephant. It can't picture the don't part. So when we are faced with, your elephant appeared, okay, good. Chris says, is it possible to begin changing what the response is so that your outer, let's see if I can read this, so that your outer circumstances no longer affect you? I think is the question. Yes. What's possible is to change your response so that you have a fresh mind. Your mind is really turned on, and you have an optimal brain function to be able to come up with great solutions for those circumstances. And yes, so much of what stresses us, so much of our stress comes from our thoughts, and it's completely self-generated and completely unnecessary. So a lot of the circumstances are much less adverse than our thoughts lead us to believe. So yes, I hope I'm answering your question, Chris, that yes, our response to adverse situations very often can change the actual situation too, because very often we're overreacting to adversity. So back to how to language things. So it's very, very important that when you're faced with something challenging, stressful, adverse, you tell your mind what you want to think. You tell yourself how you want yourself to respond, rather than just reacting to the default. So let's say it's a frightening situation. Let's use an example of being laid off, because this is something that people are stressing about right now. What if I get laid off? And we'll talk about what if thinking in another video. In fact, tomorrow, maybe we'll talk about what if thinking. But let's say you are laid off, okay? And you have to find another job. The default thoughts that you might have were, I'll never find a job. What if nobody hires me? These kind of thoughts, they are negative and they are fear-based. And this kind of thought leads to a hormonal response, which is the topic of this live today. The hormonal response, the brain chemistry that happens when we have negative thinking or fear-based thinking, is a fight, flight, or freeze response that triggers a hormone in our body called cortisol. When cortisol enters the bloodstream and goes to the brain, it causes our brain to shut down. Our cognitive function, our ability to actually cognate and think, goes away. And we are left with this feeling of overwhelm and can't think straight, can't think of anything. That is the brain chemistry. That is the cortisol. That's not you. That's the cortisol. And that comes and originates with the thought. What if I can never get a job? What if my family starves? What if we don't have any food to pay for rent? What if we're out on the street? All of that kind of negative fear-based thinking will not help your family at all. What's going to help your family is staying, having optimal thinking, staying calm, staying rational, staying relaxed, coming up with great solutions and great ideas. And that happens when we stimulate the right brain chemistry. So what are the thoughts that are going to stimulate that brain chemistry that's going to make us alert and capable and strong and thinking on our feet and coming up with great solutions and managing this tremendous stress? The kind of thoughts that we need to think are positive thoughts that our mind and brain can picture. So let's give some actual examples here. I am smart. I am capable. I am qualified. I can handle it. I know what I'm doing. I trust myself. I am confident. I am a leader. I'm going to if I can't find a solution, if I can't find a job, I'll create my own work. I can do it. And what this kind of thinking does, it's a command, a demand, and an instruction to your mind. And it fills your brain physically with all kinds of blood and glucose and oxygen. And it starts to go, yeah, it starts to seek solutions, and it starts to come up with great ideas, and it makes you feel powerful, empowered, and strong. And when you walk into that job interview, if there's a job to be had, they're going to be hiring you, because we hire people that show up as leaders, that are confident. So that's one example. So in the chat, let me know if let's do a little practice here. Maybe you can come up with a couple of adverse situations, and we can relanguage them right here. Judy, I know that Judy, Travel Designs by Judy, which by the way is a phenomenal service. Talk about minimizing stress. Judy will minimize all of your travel stress for you. She'll do it all for you so you can really, really enjoy your vacation. But Judy, for example, let's say you were having a real lull in your business, which doesn't happen because you're always busy. But there's no clients anywhere. What if I can't make my rent this month? I don't know what I'm going to do. These thoughts aren't going to get you anywhere. So how can we relanguage? How can we reframe these thoughts? What do we say to ourselves? What is the conversation that we say? We have to practice languaging our thoughts in a certain way. So instead of saying, what if, one of the ways, really powerful ways that we can relanguage our thoughts is not what if, but what is. Staying in what is. What is right now? What is, well, I don't have enough clients right now. So what is that I want more clients. What is that I have fantastic offerings. And what is that I have a lot of people in my life that can help me. I can go out and I can reach out to those people, and they're going to help me. Travel Designs by Judy says confident clients will, I can't quite read this. For some reason I know why. Oh, I need to move this chat over so I can see what you are saying. There we go. Travel Designs by Judy. I am confident clients will come. I attract abundance. Great. Yeah. Perfect. I am confident clients will come. And then ideas about how you're going to attract those clients are going to start to pop into your mind, because you are stimulating the brain hormones. You're stimulating the right brain chemistry for yourself. You're stimulating that oxytocin response. You're stimulating that serotonin response. Plus, you've got some adrenaline in there already. And so your mind is going to start to work for you instead of those stress hormones working against you. All right, I'm just going to take, now that I can see my chat, first of all, I want to thank everybody who's here today. And Chris Rivera says, he said before, is it possible to begin changing what the default response is so that your outside circumstance no longer... Yes. Yes, it is, Chris. Absolutely. When you change out your default response, the way that circumstances affect you changes completely along with it. You move through adverse circumstances very quickly. You come up with great solutions, and your circumstances become better because you are able to be responsive, you are able to be alert, your cognitive function is working well. So there is no question that the way that you respond to adverse circumstances, the way you respond with your thoughts, is going to change how you respond to stress. And it is going to do the job of minimizing stress and maximizing those phenomenal coping skills. So please make sure you tune in today. I'm doing this countdown every single day. I look forward to seeing you there. If you haven't already done so, make sure that you subscribe and hit the bell so that you can be notified every time I post a new video. In the meantime, thank you for joining me today. This is Melissa Bohr Jacobson. Confident Life Coaching and Hypnotherapy. And if you have any questions for me, make sure you jump on my calendar. You can easily set up a free consult with me at www.meetwithmelissa.me, and I will be able to answer your questions as well as give you some coping skills right there on the spot that you can use that very day. So look forward to seeing you tomorrow in our next video. Have a great day, everybody.